evening and welcome to TBC News, broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam. First, our top stories. Dr. Samia makes changes in parastatals. Tanzania and China vow to deepen economic ties.
This forum is significant for both parties.
Good evening once again. I'm Agnes Tuniga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBConline, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBConline. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has received credentials of 6 foreign ambassadors who have been accredited to Tanzania. The new ambassadors who presented their credentials earlier today include the ambassador of Rwanda, Fatou Heririmana, the ambassador of Germany to the country, Thomas Trestigen, the ambassador of the European Union, Christine Grau, the ambassador of Norway, Ton Tines, the ambassador of Qatar, Fahad Rashid Sakir Al Moraik, and the ambassador of Saudi Arabia to the country, Yahya Ahmed Okesh. The event was held today at the State House in Dar es Salaam. Furthermore, the head of state has appointed 2 new heads of government, parastatals, and 1 ambassador. Here are more details.
According to the statement issued by the Directorate of Presidential Communications, President Dr. Samia has appointed John Ulanga to be an ambassador. Currently, Ulanga is the Executive Director of the Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, TPSF. Furthermore, President Samia has dissolved the board of the Rural Energy Agency, REA, and has appointed Ambassador Retired Major General Jacob Kingu to be the chairperson of the Board of Directors of the Rural Energy Agency, REA. Moreover, the head of state has appointed Maharage Chande to be the Postmaster General of the Tanzania Post Corporation. Before this appointment, Chande was appointed to be the Director General of Tanzania Telecommunications Corporation, TTCL. On the other hand, Engineer Peter Ulanga resumes his role as the Director General of the Tanzania Telecommunications Corporation, TTCL. The appointment starts with immediate effect, and the new ambassador-elect will be sworn in on the 26th of September 2023 at the State House in Dar es Salaam.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa calls on Tanzanian investors to cooperate together with investors from China to invest in various areas in the country so as to boost economic development. He made the call 100 projects with a total value of $10 billion. Here's the report by Ismail Bugda, read by Lulua Muhammad.
It is in the conference that brings together more than 200 local and more than 100 Chinese investors. The official guest of honor at this conference is the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa, where he urges investors in Tanzania to work together with investors from China to invest in various fields.
And all agree with me that this forum is significant for both parties, since it is a platform where individual investors can communicate directly with the government officials of this country and make their own view known. I want you to know that your comments, suggestions, and questions will be taken care of accordingly. So now I look forward to hearing from your views and your deliberation.
The Prime Minister assures Chinese investors that Tanzania offers the most conducive investment opportunities in Africa.
Tanzania is no doubt a great place to invest in Africa. However, the past decade, we have put in place the most conducive investment environment you can think of. We have widely opened our door to everyone interested in bringing his capital and doing business with us in Tanzania. There is no restriction or preconditions attached.
The Chinese ambassador to Tanzania, Chen Mingjian, says that China will continue to be an economic partner to Tanzania.
China has been the largest source of investment in Tanzania for several consecutive years. Numerous Chinese businessmen visit Tanzania to explore investment and business opportunities.
Speaking after the forum, some of the participants say the conference will bring productive results in investment in the country.
We are making them that need to do business matchmaking so that they can have some cooperation of the two countries and doing better business between the two countries.
There are a lot of Tanzania business people. They are so eager to meeting the Chinese investors.
Following this forum, 3 agreements have been signed.
Of Information, Communication and Information and Technology, Nape Nnauye says, for 5 years period, he was witnessing the signing of Memorandum of Understanding and the additional contract documents on the infrastructure of the Tanzania National ICT Broadband backbone between his ministry and the communication service providers. Here's the report by Eva Sindika, read by Kanki Mwaigomole.
On October the 4th, 2011, the government, through the former Ministry of Communication, Science and Technology, entered into a 30-year agreement with the telecommunication service providers for the construction of the Tanzanian National ICT Broadband backbone with 48 routes targeting areas with poor communication network. But the contract was not successful after facing various challenges that made the government create a commission to solve those challenges. And finally today, both sides, the government and the service providers, are here to sign an agreement to improve the Tanzania National ICT Broadband backbone. The Minister for Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye, is here to witness the signing.
The implementation of this contract was hindered by various challenges that made the two sides to come together, discuss and eventually reach a conclusion. Today, we have witnessed the signing of a deed of settlement whereby the consortium has agreed to contribute $20 million, which amounts to a total of $50 billion for a period of 5 years, as a payment for the construction of infrastructure, as well as making an investment of $13 million, which is approximately equal to 32.5 billion Tanzanian shillings.
Here, he calls on investors and his ministry to ensure that they both oversee professionally the implementation of the agreement.
What you have done today, we are assuring the readiness of a government that is being led by President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan in cooperation with the private sector in improving the economy.
On the other hand, the former chairman of the government negotiating team, Aldolf Ndunguru, explains the benefits of the agreement made today, while the chairman of the Union of Commission Service Providers, Kamal, thanks the government for the agreement that has been reached today.
The agreement was made final on the 25th of July 2023. This discussion will open a new chapter of cooperation and offer both parties opportunities to improve and strengthen the areas of cooperation in order to avoid the occurrence of any problem during the implementation of the contract.
These initiatives enable the consortium to participate in the implementation of fiber optic infrastructure construction to supplement the National Information, Communication and Technology Broadband backbone, which acts as a central nervous system of the network, facilitating the transmission of data, voice, and other vital services to our consumers across the country.
The ambassador of Netherlands to Tanzania, Webe de Boer, says his government is pleased with various efforts target to combat climate change, gender inequality and poverty, and to promote areas such as clean energy and well-being, among other things. De Boer made the remarks in the flag-raising ceremony in Dar es Salaam to mark 8 years since the UN launched the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Peter Mganga has more details.
Just a few days have passed since business leaders, UN officials, government leaders, SDG stakeholders, and civil society professionals from across the globe met for the UN Global Compact Leaders Summit at the United Nations headquarters in New York. During the summit, the member countries had the opportunity to explain the progress that have made so far in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. Earlier today, the Embassy of the Netherlands held SDGs flag-raising ceremony, and the Dutch ambassador to Tanzania says his government is pleased with the Tanzanians' progress and efforts to attain the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Last week we had a summit in New York about this. It's clear that we're off track. But I think COVID had a lot to do with this. We're very optimistic about the future. If everybody doubles down on those sustainable development goals, then we will reach this sustainable, bright future for everybody. I'm very happy that the Tanzanian government is also taking this very much at heart.
On the other hand, the British ambassador in the country, David Conker, says he is delegated to see various countries around the world presenting their plans and strategies as part of ensuring that the goals are achieved by 2030.
I think there are huge possibilities and opportunities here in Tanzania now, really opening up under the current administration for development partners to work even more on issues and activities that can support the government of Tanzania's efforts, to get its make sure that it is making the right progress, the right level of progress on the Sustainable Development Goals.
In addition, UN Resident Coordinator Zlatan Milicic calls on Tanzania to maximize on the economic opportunities available in Tanzania and vows to continue to support various efforts Tanzania is making to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
It was very positive to see the declaration that came out of the summit, as well as commitments by different nations. Many nations provided and delivered their national commitments, what they will do more and better in order for us to achieve Sustainable Development Goals. So we all need to gear up, to roll up our sleeves and do more in order for the world to reach these targets of the SDGs by 2030.
Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Peter Mganga, TBC News.
A delegation of Russian businessmen and women has arrived in Tanzania aimed at investing in the agriculture, energy, education and research sectors. The arrival is the result of the Russian-Africa Summit, which was held in July this year at St. Petersburg, Russia. Speaking at the Russia-Africa Youth Forum held today at the Russian Culture Center in Dar es Salaam, a representative of the businessmen and women who attended the July Russia-Africa Summit, Samuel Nsokolo, said he is positive about the future prospects of the business environment in Tanzania. Faida Ngaga reports.
This is the Russia-Africa Youth Forum, a Tanzanian sequel to the Russia-Africa Summit. It is a platform that aims to reflect on the impact that the July Russia-Africa Summit had, but also to build capacity of Tanzanian youth in various fields. One of the attendees of this forum, who also attended the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg as a representative of the business community, Samuel Nsokolo, here elaborates on the impact that the summit has had so far.
We met with the companies that are specifically intending to invest in Tanzania, especially in the sectors of agriculture. There is energy, and there is education and research issues. And what I can say, until this time, the partnership between Tanzania and Russia. So the delegation arrived here in Tanzania from yesterday. We had those. They came with the delegation of the Tanzania embassy in Russia. So we received them yesterday at the Marinere.
Furthermore, Alexei Bondarak, the director of the Russian Cultural Center, here provides insight on the importance of such avenues to youth.
We had a very strong idea to discuss with young people the results of Russia-Africa Forum. And we had a chance to invite those who participated in the main event in St. Petersburg, the representatives from Business Mission of Tanzania, which was an integral part of the delegation of Tanzania.
The Russian ambassador to Tanzania, Andrei Abatisian, says the Russian Cultural Center is open to Tanzanian youth, among others. He says such discussions will further strengthen business environment, politics, culture, among others.
If you like this kind of meetings, the Russian House will continue organizing them on different topics, but all these topics will be somehow devoted to Russia and Tanzania, to our traditional friendly relations, and to good prospects of further cooperation in business, in politics, in culture, in sports, and everything.
Faithangaga, TBC News.
The construction of leather products Competence Center at the Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, DIT, Mwanza campus that is implemented by the government at a cost of 37 billion shillings is expected to be in completion by the end of this year. The center aims at producing local experts on leather processing and is part of implementation of the East Africa Skills for Transformation and Regional Integration project, which is sponsored by the World Bank and the government. Moses Matthew has more details.
The edifice of leather excellent technology in Mwanza City, which involves 5 structures for academic block, administration block, 2 dormitories blocks, and the leather processing industry, has been achieved at 67%. The construction that takes place at Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology DIT campus Mwanza is implemented via different E-Strip projects.
Mradi huu wa E-Strip.
This E-Strip project, first of all, will improve the infrastructure. There will be modern machines and equipment, but at the same time, we'll be able to have equipment that will enable students to make the same product outside the original factory. So this is beneficial for those who will enroll through this campus.
The project that will cost government and the World Bank 37 billion is expecting to facilitate DIT Mwanza campus to produce experts with the skills to self-employment and employ others.
Kupitia pia mradi tunaendelea kuboresha zaidi na kuwawezesha wanafunzi.
Through this project, we will continue to improve and enable students to be more self-employed. At the end of this project, we'll have an incubation center to train our students for self-employment instead of them waiting to be hired.
The government decision of implementing the construction of Leather Technology Excellence Center has been applauded by the leather product producers in Mwanza City.
I think until now construction is on progress. If you have visited the area, you will see that there are no buildings being built, and nothing that after those buildings are finished, there will be so much improvement.
Pale DIT kwa wastani walete mashine za kisasa.
At DIT, on average, they should bring modern machines so that we can get enough experience in order to produce products like the ones being produced abroad.
The construction of the center initiated in December last year and is expected to be completed by the end of this year.
The availability of cement is a challenge, as well as the availability of oil, which are important elements that help in running mechanical machines. But if these challenges are not continuously, then we will be able to finish the project in time.
Moses Matthew, TBC News, Mwanza.
The Kinondoni District Commissioner Sadim Tambule says upon completion of the $65 million sewage and solid waste recycling project in the district will help reduce this challenge of sewage pollution in the ocean and along the beach. He made remarks right after leading Kinondoni residents and non-governmental institutions to clean up the beach and ocean to conserve mangrove trees, insisting that the move will help to protect living creatures in the sea and boost tourism. Emmanuel Samuel has more.
Kinondoni district is one of the districts in Dar es Salaam region and is blessed with a number of beautiful beaches. And today, the environmental stakeholders, led by the Kinondoni District's Commissioner, joined their hands to clean the beach and emphasize to the communities living near the sea to realize the importance of cleaning the areas.
So I wish to encourage and insist our communities around to make sure they do not litter waste everywhere. We have introduced a system where waste is to be collected at collection points, whereby the contractor collects to dumping area, which is Pukinyamwezi.
We are so lucky to engage different CSOs to come here for cleanup. Yeah, Clean Beach, as we know, Clean Beach is attract tourism as well as attract a lot of people to come and relax. As we know now, mental health is a big problem in our community.
NEMKI, the National Environment Management Council, together with stakeholders, we are now working up to come up with the color coding for solid waste management, and we will start with the household level.
The district's commissioner thanks the government for allocating $65 million for the new sewage and solid waste recycling project in Kinondoni.
The project was $65 million being implemented, whereby about 16,000 cubic meters of waste, liquid waste, will be collected.
The Irish ambassador, Mary O'Neill, and other environmental stakeholders are also here to participate in the beach cleanness.
But with that great privilege also comes our collective responsibility for keeping the beaches clean.
If the fish consume this plastic, we are the ones who are going to consume this plastic at the end of the day. So what I encourage the youth, what I encourage my fellow Tanzanians is to just care more about our environment.
When the government, citizens, and all other stakeholders join to take action to conserve the environment, the beautiful nature in the ocean and the beaches can be restored and maintained. Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
The Tanzania prominent researchers have formulated associations for Tanzania researchers, ATARE, aiming at bringing together researchers and their findings as one way of implementing economic and social development of the country. Inaugurating the association, the president of ATARE, Professor Joseph Ndunguru, and the chairman of the association, Geoffrey Kirenga, called on Tanzania researchers to join the association as the way to bring revolution through their scientific findings.
Our specific objective is to strengthen the dissemination of scientific research, exchange of information and knowledge for sustainable development. As you all know, there is no country in the world that can develop without doing research.
I believe that an association like this will add more power in the areas where the government and other institutions inside and outside of the country have yet to reach. Therefore, we want to bring those findings wherever they are for the development of our country.
The association emerged when Tanzania and African countries are working hard to bring changes, especially in the agriculture sector and food system being a great agenda, and Tanzania aimed to feed Africa. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us have a look at our today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news compiled and read by Ahmed Salom.
The Office of the Attorney General in Libya has said that the mayor of Derna, Abdulmenan Al-Gaiti, together with numerous officials, have been arrested in connection with the floods that killed thousands in eastern Libya earlier this month. The Office of the Attorney General, based in the capital Tripoli, said that the officials were responsible for managing the country's dam facilities, and therefore it had launched a criminal case against them. In a statement on Monday, the Attorney General's office accused the officials of numerous failings, such as mismanaging funds meant to maintain the dams that burst and caused the floods, and failing to take precautions leading to flood-related death in the city of Derna. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that his country will withdraw its ambassador and troops from Niger in the wake of the July coup that overthrew democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum. In a televised interview, Macron said that military cooperation was over and that 1,500 French troops stationed in the country would withdraw in the month and weeks to come, with a full pullout by the end of the year. Niger's new rulers, who had been demanding France's exit announcement. And hundreds of ethnic Armenians have fled Nagorno-Karabakh to Armenia days after Azerbaijan seized control of the breakaway territory in a military offensive. The Armenian government said that a total of 1,050 people had fled into the country from Nagorno-Karabakh, an enclave in Azerbaijan populated mainly by ethnic Armenians. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said that he expected about 120,000 civilians in the region in the South Caucasus to leave for Armenia because they do not want to live in part of Azerbaijan and fear the danger of ethnic cleansing.
That was international news. Sports news follows shortly. Twiga Stars head coach Bakari Shime says he is confident that his squad will beat Ivory Coast in the return leg match of the Women African Cup of Nations qualifier to be played at Azam Complex Chamazi on Tuesday. Speaking during the press conference toward the match, Shime adds that they know Ivory Coast is a strong team, but they are well prepared for the encounter.
I satisfied with the performance of my player in the first game. They played according to the plan. So one among the responsibilities that we have is to bring the match at home. Hence, still the match is tough, and I believe the strategy that I'll be using tomorrow gives us opportunity of scoring many goals and win the match, and eventually to qualify.
Twiga Stars lost 2-0 in the first leg match away on Friday in Ivory Coast, and its only 3-0 defeat to Ivory Coast will sail Twiga Stars to the next round for African Cup of Nations. Dar es Salaam City basketball head coach Mohamed Mbwana says the game has become exciting to the fans due to the quality performance displayed by the players in the ongoing Dar es Salaam Basketball League. Coach Mbwana adds that even though the competition has proven to be tough, he is confident that his team will win the league and take the trophy.
In order for you to be the best team is to play with the best and win against the best. And that's our set goal. Yesterday we lost, and that's part of the game. Once one of the best athlete in the world, Mike Tyson, said, you'll never know how it feels until you got punched on the face. And right now we know how it feels, so we're gonna go back on the training session, try to see what areas that we need to improve and make better so that we can come out hard on the third game and win it, and hopefully on Thursday win the championship.
Dar City will entertain JKT in the decisive game at Don Bosco Ground in Dar es Salaam, and if they win, they will take the Dar es Salaam Basketball League 2023. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let us have a look at our weather update for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers, welcome to the next 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Margaret Masawe. Wind is expected to flow the speed of 30 kilometers per hour over the entire coast, from southeast over the northern coast and from east over the southern coast. The state of the sea is expected to be moderate, 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria and Lake Tanganyika, and 10 kilometers per hour over Lake Nyasa. Cloudy condition is still experienced in a few areas of the country, and the lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 10 degrees Celsius over Njombe region. The rest are as shown on this map. Tomorrow we expect a partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Lake Victoria Basin except Shinyanga and Simiyu. Kilimanjaro, Arusha, Tanga and Unguja Isles are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. The rest parts of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy condition. Now let us see the next 4 days of the forecast for some regions of the country. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, we thank you for watching us.
That marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the rest of the team, I am Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for watching.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.